Hello again, everybody. Zacatech is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, July 14th, 2014. Of course, live from Richmond, Virginia. The last show before Battleground. Thoughts on Raw tonight, being the go-home show before Battleground. A little bit better than last week. Not as bad as last week. Still going towards the pay-per-view. It was okay. It was okay, actually, but not a lot of stuff happened. But some stuff happened. Leading towards Battleground, especially heading towards main event for that pay-per-view. Plus, as you would see by the subtitle, we have, of course, the character, the pre-order character, to be announced for the 2K15. Of course, WWE 2K15, you always have the pre-order exclusive. As you see tonight, that superstar was revealed tonight. Now, let's get going with the first segment of Raw tonight, involving the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. Speaking of main events, tonight's main event, as we walked into Raw tonight, the main event was supposed to be John Cena teaming up with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. These guys teamed up a few weeks ago, once when the Shield broke up. So these three team were supposed to team up against Kane, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins. And as Cena was talking about, is not just tonight's main event, but the main event for the Battleground pay-per-view. Here comes Roman Reigns to crash the party. Now, these two, they had a little altercation last week. We've seen his hand getting raised by Reigns. And Reigns is like, we're going to team up tonight. But this Sunday, that title is going to be mine. So as Reigns was speaking, their scheduled tag team partner, Dean Ambrose, came out. On the screen, that is. And he was waiting for their match tonight. That was until he got attacked backstage by Kane, Orton, and Seth Rollins. I kind of like that beatdown. He's got his butt whipped, including the big ending. He got curb stomped by Rollins on a case. And what was funny was at the end, after he got the curb stomp on the metal case thing, like a staging case, Ambrose just said, "Is that all you got? Is that all you guys got?" That was kind of funny at the end. And boy, did I'll give Ambrose credit. But taking that beating, he took a hell of a beating from all three guys. Wham against the storm. He just got his ass beat, like I said, leading up to the club storm. So Ambrose was out of the match. Spoiler alert, he doesn't come back. I thought he was going to come back during the match, or at least get involved. But I think an injury may have prevented those plans. Which I'll get to that during our main event, which was now changed from a 6-man tag to a 2-on-3 handicap match. Reigns and Cena against Kane, Orton, and Rollins following the beatdown of Ambrose. On to our first matchup, we have Sheamus, the United States Champion, taking on The Miz. Now, I kind of said this last week. I think Miz is kind of playing up the fact that he's starting to be some sort of movie star. You know, he was on a few made-the-video movies, and now he's going to be in a Marine 4, another made-the-video movie. So, he's got this whole higher ego thing now. And he came out as he got prepared for his match against Sheamus. He's like, don't ruin this moneymaker. And I love this moneymaker so much, I'm going to put my lovely mug on the screen to worship as I beat down Sheamus. Which Miz kind of did for the early going. Until Sheamus came in with his big moves. Of course, going for the Big 10 beats in the belt. It was an okay opening matchup. It was okay. So, we had Sheamus ready to feed Mr. Miz to the Brogue Kick. But Miz had plans of his own. He was trying to go for the Squad Question finale. Then Miz got counted by Sheamus. Sheamus was going for the Brogue Kick. Miz ducked out of it. And Sheamus hit the ring post. And then Miz got the roll up and the 1-2-3 victory for the Miz. I was surprised to see Miz, but I thought it was going to be an easy win for Sheamus. He is the United States Champion, and both these guys are in the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal to determine the new IC champion since apparently, sadly, Wade Barrett's out. And Sheamus, I gotta be surprised if Sheamus wins, because he's a U.S. champion, and he could unify both championships. If they can unify the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships, they can unify the mid-card titles. But that could be a good thing and a bad thing. If Sheamus does unify, that means one last title for one last title for the mid-card to get. Since now that there's no two big championships like the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship altogether, if they unify two more titles, that means less opportunities for the mid-card to get a title. But there you go. Interesting to see Miz win for once since his comeback. He lost to Jericho last week. And now this week, he wins over Mr. Sheamus. Now, on to our next matchup. Dolph Ziggler taking on Fandango. Juan Solo, apparently Fandango's two-timing ways, finally got the best of him as Layla and Summer Rae turned their nose at him. Now, this situation's been building since 2 weeks ago when Dolph Ziggler beat Fandango after Dolph Ziggler kissed Summer Rae. And then last week, Fandango distracted Dolph Ziggler during his match against Del Rio, causing Fandango to help Del Rio get the win over Ziggler. So then tonight, Ziggler, in this whole love triangle situation, like Dolph's being looped into it. And he had an okay little match with Fandango. And I was thinking to myself, as Fandango was taking control, I was like, don't tell me they're going to have the girls come out and distract Fandango. And that's exactly what happened. We saw Layla and Summer Rae come out. They're apparently besties now after a situation on SmackDown that caused them to turn their backs on Fandango. That is two-time, like I said, his two-time Reyes got the best of them. They were dancing on top of the announce table, distracting Fandango like Fandango did the same thing on that same table last week, like I said, to distract Ziggler to help him lose against Del Rio. But this time it was poetic justice and turnaround's fair play, as Fandango would get distracted by dancing on the announce table, and then Ziggler would take advantage with the zigzag after the famouser in the 1-2-3 victory for Dolph Ziggler. And then both girls got in the ring, and let's say Ziggler got lucky. It should say it all. I steal the show, and your girlfriend. Or in Fandango's case, steal your girlfriends. And I applaud Ziggler for walling along with this storyline by being lumped in this little love triangle thing, but now he's apparently got two new escorts. So I applaud Ziggler for walling along with this scenario. Speaking of people I'm applauding for walling along their stupid storylines, went button down. After being Abe Lincoln, Vince McMahon, and last week, Bret the Hitman Hart, I think he really had a downgrade this week. As Damien Sandow was, of all things, a Sonic car hop. As he as he promoted Shield. I'm trying to promote Shield, but like Shield. It sounds like Shield, but it's Shield. He promoted Sonic with the new face of promotion in WWE. Willy Wonka. I mean, Adam Rose. Well, I can't say that because he wasn't wearing his Willy Wonka gear tonight. 2 weeks ago, we saw Adam Rose promote to his own cheap plugging of Twisted Tea with Santino Morello, who's now retired. Right to competition. And now, apparently, like I said, Adam Rose is now the new advertising king for WWE, as Sandow has a new punching bag for making him wear these ridiculous outfits, like he did tonight as a call hop. And like I said, tonight, after shielding Twisted Tea, Adam Rose shield cheap plugged Sonic and the Cheesy Dog with Sandow. So it's kind of weird. We haven't seen Adam Rose wrestle in a few weeks. And now he's getting cheap plugging for these advertisers for Sonic and Twisted Tea like he did a few weeks ago. So there you go. Now on to the next, well, it's supposed to be a match. Ended up being like a little beatdown. Heading towards Battleground. As the Usos were scheduled to take on the Slater and the Gator, as a nickname would say, on the WWE app, it was supposed to be Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil to get the chance to take on the tag champs. But right before their match, right as they're doing their intro, so here comes Harper and Warren for a beatdown. Of course, giving themselves momentum for their tag team title match, which is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now that's going to be interesting to see these guys go 2 out of 3. The matches have been great lately. The match in Money in the Bank was awesome. The match last week on Raw, which gave the Usos pinned, saw the Usos get pinned and get the second chance title match for the Wyatt family. And now they're in the best part of 3 falls. This should be very interesting on Sunday. It should be a great matchup between these two guys. Now they get an opportunity to really have the time to have a great match. And speaking of that, a lot more matches will announce for Battleground tonight. We got Naomi and Cameron in the pre-show. Yay! Finally! A Divas match that deserves being on the goddamn pre-show. Finally! I always say this, that a Divas match needs to be the pre-show card because it gets the stupidness out of the way. Now I'm happy that a Divas match is going to be the first match of the night on the pre-show. And it'll be the first pay-per-view pre-show to have a match. Since Money in the Bank didn't have a match during the pre-show, just an interview with Daniel Bryan. So there you go. And I thought the Usos would get revenge later on, but there you go. That didn't happen. But we get to see them get revenge on Sunday. Now on to our next scenario. Speaking of matches added for Battleground, we saw the official word that Rusev will be accepting the challenge of Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger, as Swagger will take on Rusev this Sunday at Battleground. And all stemmed from this. I need to pronounce the fucking name right. Like some sort of the fucking debate involving Swagger, Coulter, and Rusev and Lana. It's still interesting and weird at the same time to see Swagger and Coulter as faces. Basically, Zeb Coulter is and always has been the mouthpiece for Jack Swagger. And God, the Virginia crowd was decent on sometimes. The Richmond, Virginia crowd was decent on some things. They were good on some things and stupid on other things, which I'll get to in a moment, right? Why I thought the crowd was stupid tonight, especially chanting Boeing during a segment that didn't deserve to get chanted Boeing. Now, we had this little debate that led towards Rusev accepting the challenge from Swagger. And the We the People chant was very loud tonight. And this broke down with Lana slapping the hell out of Swagger. And I liked what happened with Rusev trying to go for a big move on Swagger. Then, of course, Swagger carrying it to the Patriot Lock and Lana pulling him out of the ring. Now, Rusev looked invincible. Now, he kind of lost his invincibility against Big E a little bit, even though he still won those matches against Big E. But this could be a great opportunity for Swagger to really get himself over as a face by getting Rusev his first loss. I don't see that happening, but I would like to see Swagger beat Rusev. Because Rusev's been undefeated for a long time. For about a month and a half now. So there you go with that scenario. Now on to our next matchup. Speaking of great counters, we got to see RVD renew his little feud against Alberto Del Rio. Two guys that are going to be in the Battle Royal for the Intercontinental Championship at Battleground. A lot of people are in it. Too many to name, which I'll get to in a moment. Now this match, these guys had a feud last year over the World Heavyweight Championship. And these two guys put on a decent little matchup. Some fun action between these guys. And a lot of kicks. There was a couple of fun spots. One spot, RVD was going for a big splash move onto Del Rio on the ground. But then Del Rio pulled the apron down and RVD landed on the wing cover. And he got a big nasty kick from Del Rio. That was an interesting spot. Another big interesting spot after Del Rio's little offensive fury, some nasty kicks. Especially that kick when RVD was stuck between the wing cover and the canvas after being thwarted by Del Rio for a big splash. RVD came back with, of course, the Rolling Thunder, and he was waiting to do the 5-star frog splash. And I like Del Rio's counter. That not only did Del Rio put his knees up to block the 5-star frog splash, but he took that knee blocking counter and turned it into the cross arm breaker and got the tap out victory. As Del Rio gains himself momentum heading towards the Battle Royal. He'll see RVD in it, along with guys who would also wrestle tonight. Cesaro, Kofi Kingston, Sandal's in it, Khali's in it, Ziggy's in it, Big E's in it, White Baxel's in it. And there was a funny segment on the app tonight with them hugging it out. They were like having arguments about who's going to win Battle Royal and not fighting each other because they're a tag team. I think they'll fight the Battle Royal against each other eventually. Then Bo Dallas, Fandango, Sheamus, Del Rio, Titus, O'Neal, Diego, The Miz, Zack Ryder's in it. I bet you he'll be the first to be eliminated. Unless they make Sandown dress up like something stupid. We all going to be in Florida after all. He could dress up like Texas or something. Then all troops in there, Adam Rose is in it, Sin Cara, Xavier Woods, and Heath Slater on that Battle Royal. Now on to our next little matchup. Thankfully it wasn't as stupid as last week. We got Alicia Fox and Brie Bella being, not Brie Bella, but Nikki Bella being in a match where both the arms were untied. Yay, at that stupidness of last week. We got a little handicap match though with Nikki taking on Alicia and Naomi's former tag team partner Cameron. Like I mentioned, these two, Cameron and Naomi, will finally duke it out. They finally officially broken up in the fight at Battleground. I thought Naomi was going to get involved in the matchup, whether it's help out and volunteer as Nikki's partner to thwart against the authority after the whole Brie Bella thing, or come out after the match and beat up on Cameron. Both those scenarios never happened. And Nikki did try her best to outrun the numbers and did have some great offensive fury. But despite her best efforts, the numbers game did eventually got up to Miss Nikki. And Alicia Fox had some sort of arm finishing move, kind of a devastating arm move to give the team of Cameron and Alicia Fox the victory. Alicia did all the work because Cameron can't wrestle for crap like Eva Marie. Now on to the video that people have been waiting on, kind of. Now, Sting, of course, we've heard the rumors for months. Is he or isn't he going to be in WWE? But this past week, he posted something about something happening on 7/14/14. Like people saying, oh, it's going to be Sting's debut night. But I knew in the back of my mind, I think some people felt the same way as me, that although I would have loved to have been seeing Sting tonight, that this would have been his debut night, I would have loved to have to be his debut night finally. But I knew it was going to be the announcement that we've been kind of waiting on to be official. Sting was going to be the pre-order character for WWE 2K15. I've been hearing rumors about this commercial being shot already, and the commercial finally aired tonight. And it was a fun commercial, interesting commercial with the orchestra playing Sting's Crow theme from WCW. And they were all in Sting face paint, and then Sting, you heard the crowd, they had the live crowd audio when that video aired. And when they saw Sting's face, they're like, yay! But then when they realized it was a video game promotion, you heard the boos after. They're like, oh, fuck, Sting ain't debuting tonight. Boo! So, you heard the crowd on that one. But I got a good question, though. Sting is going to be a pre-order character when you pre-order the game. They always have that. Every year, they always have that pre-order character. It was whether it's Mike Tyson, or Ultimate Warrior, or Sting. I got a good question, though. Is it going to be one Sting or two Sting? Is it two generations of Sting? Are they going to just have the black face paint Sting? Or are they going to have the multicolored, blonde-haired, flat-top Sting? What would be really cool is that they also have the black and red Sting from the Wolfpack days. That would be interesting, too. But no matter what Sting is going to be in the game, Sting will be in WWE 2K15. His first interaction with WWE. Now on to our next little scenario. Cesaro minus Paul Heyman taking on Big E. Is it just me, or is Cesaro getting buried now? He lost 2 weeks in a row to Kofi Kingston. And now this week, with a little interference from Kofi, despite Cesaro's best efforts to take on Big E, like he was trying for the big moves and neutralizer, and of course trying to go for that string as well. But despite every attempt to beat Big E, he couldn't beat him, so he was trying to get a chair to get involved. And then Kofi got involved by thwarting Cesaro's efforts to use a chair like he did to Kofi a few weeks ago. And with Kofi's help thwarting Cesaro's efforts to use the chair, he walked straight into the big ending in the 1-2-3 victory for Big E. Now, apparently Cesaro, I thought Paul was fired, or he quit. But, as I see later on tonight, Paul Heyman did appear on the program to talk to Triple H and Stephanie. Now I think I know why we didn't see Heyman team up with Cesaro tonight. I think they're waiting to build up Brock Lesnar's return. Especially when Paul Heyman said to Triple H and Stephanie, I love you plan B, but if you need a plan C, call on me. I know what some people thought. Plan CM Punk. Despite the fact they're airing his documentary, I think the only reason we're airing his documentary now is that his contract's up. Now I can talk about CM Punk now since now his contract's up, unless they automatically renew it. He ain't coming back, people. Get over it. I want him to, but he's burned out. Heyman said so. But the plan C that Heyman could be referring to is Brock Lesnar. Rumors about him taking on Cena at SummerSlam. Lesnar was Cena's first championship challenge back in 2003 at Backlash. Not a lot of people will remember that. I think I mentioned that last week. If I didn't, I don't remember, sorry. But Lesnar's match against Cena at Extreme Rules 2012, his first match back, was actually a very entertaining match. Better than all of his matches against Triple H. Probably his best match back since, well, besides the CM Punk match, his second best match back was his match against Cena. It was more like a fight, which it was a fight. So that's why I think Lesnar could be coming back, and I think Cesaro could be splitting with Heyman, which could be a good thing. Now, when Heyman became the advocate for Cesaro, I thought it was going to be a good thing for Cesaro. But unfortunately, I think Cesaro's been held back by Heyman. Because Heyman, and I've been saying this for weeks, instead of Heyman doing what he should have done, advocating for Cesaro, he kept shoving down the fact that Brock Lesnar beat the streak down our throats. He didn't promote Cesaro enough. He kept on blabbing about Lesnar. Instead of promoting the guy who's in the ring every fucking night, he kept on advocating for a guy who's not even in a damn company right now. But maybe returning soon, like I said. So, and plus Cesaro's been losing lately. He's been on a losing streak. So I hope he doesn't get buried. You know, we saw what happened to another great guy who had great potential. That ended up being a joke. Say now. So I hope that the Battle Royal is a great opportunity for Cesaro to come back strong. I want Cesaro to win the Battle Royal. He won a Battle Royal once at WrestleMania 30. If he can win that Battle Royal, he can win this Battle Royal Sunday and finally become the Intercontinental Champion. And I think that could be the boost back that Cesaro needs. And a great boost. And a great push back after a losing streak for the last couple of weeks with Big E and Kofi. And now apparently I hope he gets rid of Heyman officially next week. Because in my mind, I thought Cesaro would be good with Heyman. But all that Heyman's has been doing has been promoting Lesnar, not Cesaro. That's what he should be doing. Focused on Cesaro, not focused on talking about Lesnar. So I hope that Cesaro gets a good push now that he apparently may push Heyman aside. And the Battle Royal is a good place to get him back. And they said earlier tonight on the app, this is a great opportunity for the young talent who may be out of the game right now, out of view right now, down on the luck right now. It could be a bounce back up. It could be a bounce back. And I think that's going to be Cesaro's opportunity to bounce back. Now, speaking of comebacks, of course, Jericho came back. Chris Jericho came back a few weeks ago. And WWE's screwing up on Cesaro again. The WWE screwed up on the push for Cesaro. And hopefully don't screw up the push for the Chris Jericho-Bray Wyatt feud. Like I said a few weeks ago, when Bray Wyatt crashed Jericho's comeback, I've been buzzing about this feud possibly happening. Because these two guys are great talkers. And it could be a great, interesting feud. They've been building up slowly, though. They had a great promo last week. And this week, Jericho had a great promo this week again. Saying, Bray Wyatt, why have you been targeting me? So it was a fun promo from Jericho. He's seen it all. He's been through it all. He's been a former champion. He's seen everybody come and gone. I like the references. A Naked Manian, Yelp the Clown, and all these other references. And even a musical chairs champion. I do remember that one. When Eugene was general manager. Yes, I mentioned Eugene. Anyway. Eugene was the Santino Morella of 2004. Anyway. Just a comedy novelty character. And as Jericho was talking, here comes Bray Wyatt on the screen. Talking about, remember you were a child, Jericho? You were going to save the world. I love Bray Wyatt's promo again, but I hope WWE doesn't fuck it up because I heard, like I said, about the fans being good and bad in Richmond tonight. They fucking said boring doing Bray Wyatt's promo. Wow. Way to go, fans. 2 weeks ago, you were saying, this is awesome. When Jericho first encountered Bray, we were all saying, like, the crowd was saying, this is awesome. 2 weeks later, it's fucking boring. I think Bray Wyatt lost his all. I think, like, this Jericho feud needed to be the best opportunity for Bray Wyatt to come back. Speaking of, like I said, bouncing back. Bray Wyatt needed to bounce back from the John Cena feud, which did nothing for him. You know, that he made Cena look better, unfortunately. Despite the he got the win once, but it wasn't clean. It was stupid with the he's got the hole in his hand with little Johnny. Never seen a hood from him again. After that win over Cena in the steel cage match. And the payback match was the best match, but Cena won. And it made Bray Wyatt disappear. And it needed to be the feud to come back from. And then the fans are chanting boring during it. This Power tonight. And then here comes Harper and Warren to beat down on Jericho. Until Jericho would outwon the numbers game. Actually, he never really got beat down. He almost got beat down, then went out. Before getting a further beatdown from Harper and Warren. But he wasn't escaped yet, as Bray Wyatt would come from behind as Jericho was trying to make his hasty exit on the ramp. And would get Sister Abigail on the ramp by Bray Wyatt. Trying to build up momentum for this feud that should be great. That could have been great. That should be great. So, and then the fans started cheering for Bray Wyatt. Like 2 minutes earlier, you were chanting boy, and then you cheered him. Wow. Fans can be fickle. They be fickle. That's why the internet wrestling community is so hated. So there you go. Now we had, speaking of matches made for Battleground, of course, Wyatt and Jericho was at Battleground. This should be a fun match, despite the hype for the matchup being not as good as I thought it was going to be. We have AJ taking on Paige this Sunday. They have a unique friendship. Or as Paige said as she was commentating AJ's match tonight, they're frenemies. Now AJ Lee tonight took on Kim Kardashian. I mean, Eva Marie. Why was Eva Marie in this match? She should be fired. The only thing that made it more interesting is the whole AJ Paige relationship going on. Of course, AJ got the easy victory with the Black Widow, despite a little show of offense from Eva Marie, but she can't wrestle for shit. Like I said, she is the Kim Kardashian of WWE. She's just on the WWE because of the fucking Diva show. Ironically, on E! The same network as the Kardashians, which makes the mention of comparing Kim Kardashian to Eva Marie more ironic. So then after the easy win, AJ went over to the announce table. And it's kind of weird to see Paige and AJ. You saw them team up last week. And now they got this show. It was back for each other. And tonight you saw them conversing like, hi, bestie. You know, having a little girly conversation. They have a little show of respect. But I think jealousy is going to rear its ugly head into the situation. Especially when we get to the title match this Sunday. That both these girls better know that they got to shove friendships aside when a title is on the line. Which it will be this Sunday when AJ takes on Paige in Paige's rematch for the Divas Championship. This feud we've been waiting on for a while. We thought the feud between AJ and Paige was going to happen, especially when Paige beat AJ after WrestleMania. But then AJ ran off and got married to CM Punk. So now she's back, and now this feud can finally develop. But if they are fucking up the Bray Wyatt Jericho feud, they may fuck up the AJ Paige feud. But we'll see how that goes. Now on to the next matchup. We have Bo Dallas taking on, of all people, after defeating, of all people, El Torito last week. He didn't beat a small guy. He took on a big guy. Not Ryback, because he calls himself the big guy now. But Great Khali. Now this was beyond stupid. The ending was kind of, I think we all should have known that Bo's undefeated streak was it 18 in Bo? Now he's 19 in Bo. The ending was cheap. Like Khali had the win easily. He got to beat the crap out of Bo. But Bo believed as he took Khali to the outside and beat him up on the outside, taking down his knees before delivering a running bulldog on the floor, causing the count-out victory. He's gonna take that as a victory. That was cheap. But I think we should know something cheap like that was going to happen in a match between Bo Dallas and Khali. that Bo indeed believe that he's 18 or 19 and Bo now. Now on to our next scenario. We have a guest appearance tonight. We didn't say Sting show up tonight. We saw him on a screen but not in the ring. But we saw one of his all-time favorite rivals, Ric Flair, show up. Typical Flair fashion being interviewed by Renee Young, being typical styling and profiling, kiss, stealing, wheeling, dealing son of a gun. He's a crazy son of a gun. But that's why we love Ric Flair. Some say overrated as a wrestler. I may not agree to that. And others may agree with me too. Like some people have their opinions of Ric Flair. Some may call him overrated. Some may call him one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Let me say this. He's a better wrestler than Hogan. And I'm a Hogan Mania guy. But Hogan was more of a better character. He had the better character. He had a better persona. You know, the All-American guy. But Ric Flair was better athletic wrestler. That's my opinion. I know many people may have their opinions on this, but that's my opinion on the Hogan-Flair comparisons. That Flair, you can't even compare him to Hogan as a wrestler. That's my opinion. I'll take it to the grave with me with that opinion. So Ric Flair was questioned, speaking of his opinion, he was questioned by Renee Young on his opinion on who he thought was going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship this Sunday at Battleground. And he picked John Cena. And it was a few weeks ago when he was asked a question about who he was going to pick in the Shield Evolution feud. He picked the Shield to beat Evolution, which they did. So after hearing that John Cena was Ric Flair's pick for the Battleground match, one of those ex-members of the Shield took offense to it. Well, looked like he was taking offense as Roman Reigns came out. Looked like some altercation with Flair, but he shook Flair's hand and made Flair leave the ring respectfully as they prepared for the main event, Roman Reigns and John Cena taking on Orton, Kane, and Rollins. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it's supposed to be six-man tag tonight, but Ambrose was taking out. He never showed up again. I thought he was going to show up in the matchup or after, but he never did. And I think an injury may have something to do with it. Before we get to that injury, of course, despite early on it seemed like Cena and Reigns were not getting along at all. They, blind tagging. There was problems on both sides. Of course, Orton and Kane have their problems, but they put those problems aside for the early half with really tagging in and out. Besides, they didn't do the blind tag like Reigns did with Cena. So the numbers game really took effect on Reigns and Cena early, as they had to outwon the numbers game. 3-on-2. The numbers were in the favor of the Rollins, Kane, and Orton team, really taking advantage of that numbers game by just beating down on Cena. Like, both guys got the hot tag. Like, Reigns was taken down. Like, he was taking advantage of for the first half of the matchup. He was isolated in the corner with the quick tags. And then finally, he got the hot tag to Cena. The first of the two hot tags. The 5 Moves of Doom were coming. But then Cena had to make the hot tag to Reigns. And this is when things got interesting after Reigns got in the ring. Taking out everybody with the spears and Superman punches. Now, like I said, there was an injury that happened during this match. Apparently, Rollins was going up the top rope, going for a big move on Reigns. He gingerly landed on his foot. He tweaked his ankle, which was more aggravated when Rollins got tossed over the top rope by Reigns. So I think Rollins got really injured during this matchup. They tweaked the knee on a landing form move. Like, he tweaked the landing, and his knee got busted up big time. And he got more aggravated, like I said, when he got tossed over the top rope. Now, I think the ending must have changed after that. Because after Rollins got taken out, I think, like, if Rollins didn't get injured, I think that's when Ambrose would have came out. But I don't think it didn't really matter. We had Orton and Cena taking on each other to the triple team. Happened with Rollins. Actually, it was just double. Kane and Orton double teaming on Cena, causing a disqualification. And then inadvertent hits abounded in the aftermath of the matchup. The post-match attacks following the disqualification, with Cena getting inadvertently speared by Reigns. I saw that shit coming. I knew that Cena was going to get either Superman punch or speared, inadvertently or not. We saw Cena get speared by Reigns. But then we got Kane inadvertently hitting Orton with a punch after Cena ducked. So we saw a lot of interval hits galore. Ending with Reigns getting a spear on Orton after Orton celebrated his attack on Cena. After Reigns got taken out as well. Leading up to the spear after that showboating from Orton. With Reigns standing tall. With a throne, Cena, Reigns stood supreme over everybody. Over Cena, over Kane, over Orton, and over Rollins, who was still prone with the referee checking on him after he tweaked his knee. That could be bad news for Rollins. Is he even going to make it to Sunday? Now, the Ambrose injury was storyline-wise. It was not a weird injury. But the Rollins injury, that looked legit. Now, I think they may have to rewrite the ending. That's why I think that Orton and Kane did a double team on Cena. I think they had to rewrite the ending after Rollins got injured. That's what I believe. So there you go. We'll see the intent of Rollins' injury if he will make it to Sunday's Battleground. As we got that pay-per-view going on with the title match Sunday with Orton, Cena, Kane, and Reigns. I predict this. I'm hearing that Triple H may not want to wrestle. Like, we've been seeing the possible seeds for the Reigns Triple H feud. Maybe coming in at SummerSlam, but I'm hearing now Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell. Now, Triple H doesn't want to overshadow the possible Brock Lesnar Cena match, which the seeds might have been planted when Heyman hinted Plan C to Triple H and Stephanie. So I'm hearing maybe Orton could take on Reigns. And I think in the main event at Sunday, the seeds for that match could be happening. Like maybe Orton will screw Reigns out of an opportunity to be the champion, or vice versa. Reigns screw Orton out of the championship. That could lead towards them fighting at SummerSlam instead of Triple H and Reigns. We'll see what direction they take. And I think Battleground will be the place to find out. On the thing that's shoved down our throats, the WWE Network. I love it. I have it, but we're sick of it being promoted every week. And the free trials need to stop. That shows signs of desperation in my mind. And that is it for my WWE Raw review for tonight. See you all later with that in mind. Y'all better act. Bye the review from Zach. See y'all later, everybody. Oh yeah, we're in the shit. Yeah. See much man shit. Oh yeah.